So as was mentioned, I am the mother of 3 children, and 2 of them have hyperphagia, and they are both participants in the PKU 015 study, and that's the long-term study on Kuvan in young children that you heard about yesterday. My children started this study more than 2 years ago, and it's a 7-year study. So when we were approached about participating in this study, we thought about it long and hard and very carefully. I'm a lawyer, so I like to read things very carefully. And I'll tell you, we wanted to make sure that we understood a lot of what Lori was talking about. What was the study for? What were they going to use the information for? And most importantly, to me, what role did my children play and what was being asked of us? Obviously, as the mother of small children, I felt a very strong responsibility to make a choice for them that was going to be in their best interest. I wanted to give them their own opportunity to benefit from participating in this study. But I also will tell you that I feel a strong responsibility to the PKU community. And I looked at this as an opportunity for our family to contribute in a broader way, that my children could participate and they could individually benefit from the study, but that other children could benefit as well. And I know in particular with young children, it seems really scary and it seems really intimidating, just the words clinical trial. And so what I sought to do with the help of my husband was really understand what was being asked of us, what our children would need to do, and what it meant for our daily lives. The researchers deal with this all the time. It's their job, they're used to it, but this was all new to us. We'd never participated in any clinical trials before or knew anyone who had. We received the IRB materials, which were very lengthy. Went through in great detail a lot of the information for the study. But really what I wanted to know was, what's the real life impact of this? Like, what are we going to do? So the easy answer was, it's a Kuvan trial for 7 years. So if my children were responsive in the first phase, they would need to take Kuvan for 7 years. Were we willing to make a 7-year commitment to be part of the study? But the study also had a lot of upfront involvement that was pretty intensive. Yesterday, Dr. Prasad said at the beginning they had to go every 4 or 5 weeks, and I'll correct him, and it was 6. And we went to the clinic every week for 6 weeks. And my daughter was young when we started the trial, but when we got in the car and started driving, she knew where we were going to go because they were going to do a blood draw, and she didn't like it. And that was something to consider as well. Blood draws aren't fun for anyone, and certainly not for small children. And was it worth doing that, doing those blood draws every week for 6 weeks for my children? And that was something I wanted to know up front. What exactly are we going to do? So I need to go every week for 6 weeks. How long am I going to be there? What are we going to do while I'm there? What are the kids going to do? What do I need to bring with me? When you have small children, you know that they need things to keep them entertained. They don't like hospital rooms that have nothing to do. So the real practical information is what I wanted to know. What kinds of things did we as a family need to do to make this happen, and what kind of commitment did we have? Also, part of this trial is neurocognitive testing. What does that mean? What is it? What was the time commitment? Where would we have to go to do that? And I will tell you the thing that's been really nice about our clinic and the investigators we're working with is, when you have young children, you have to be a little flexible because they participate at their willingness level. And my son was young, and he didn't so much like the neurocognitive testing. He got really tired of it, and he would start waving and say, bye-bye, bye-bye, when he was little. And, the psychologist said, I think it looks like we're going to have to come back another day and continue this testing. And so you have to, they were willing and very receptive to take the cues from the kids as well, that we can adjust that, to accommodate the willingness of the children. And I will say, my experience being involved in the clinical trial has been a very positive one. My children are benefiting from participating on a personal level and an individual level. But I also feel very strongly that we're contributing to the broader community and helping get this data about the use of Kuvan in small children so that other families can benefit from that. And I would say, for those of you considering enrolling your children in clinical trials, as I did, I took it very seriously. We thought about it. We were very careful in our review, and we did ask a lot of questions. And I think that made me feel very secure about what we were doing and that we were making the right choice. And as Laurie said, as you go along, you're going to have more questions. I mean, once we got going and we kind of knew what to expect, different questions came up, and the researchers have been very good to be receptive and answer those questions and work with us as we're going forward. And we're 2 years into the study. We have just under 5 years to go, and we're happy to be there. But it's important, I think, to keep track of what that commitment is. What it means to you on a daily basis, and what your willingness is to participate in that. And I would just say, finally, I have found that all of the researchers really are there to help you. The reason they're doing the clinical trials is to benefit you, and that they really have you and your children, or whoever it is, in mind, and they really are willing to answer those questions. And I think it's us who are the ones who get tongue-tied and get shy about it. And so I would just encourage you to be willing to ask the questions that you want answered and willing to participate. And I firmly believe that if we're all willing to do that, PKU research and treatments for PKU and hopefully a cure are going to be all that closer, because we have the patients willing to participate in the process. Thank you.